That's not the case, and I would like to ask you to stop being disrespectful, please. And if you continue with this behaviour, I'll be forced to issue you with a verbal warning. I think 1 or 2 members of this audience need to grow up, please, thank you. But considering the amount of time you've taken, I think it's only fair that I cut you down to 20 seconds. You can't do that. Start the clock. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and everyone quiet, everyone listening. Good morning and welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire versus the Clock. Let's say a sensible hello to today's contestant, Fergus Whisker from Perham.
Thank you for having me, David.
Okay, so we could ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, but I don't think anyone's really that interested, and instead I need to fill you all in on some of the changes we've made to the programme. Now I've got a prepared statement here. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm not too thrilled about these changes, but the powers that be have told me that they need to happen to get us back on the main channel and off that one that shows all those clips of grass being cut. Our goal at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire versus the Clock is to make a programme that maintains the original Millionaire drama, but at a faster and more exciting pace. In response to criticisms regarding the allotted time given to contestants, we have decided to adjust the format. Why they're doing that, I've got no idea. I think you get plenty of time to answer the questions.
But your show's been going on nearly 10 years, and only 5 contestants have ever got past the first question.
Thank you. I'm talking now.
Sorry, David.
Anyway, they've told me that if I don't go along with it, they'll replace me with a younger and more enthusiastic presenter. Shall we take a look at the rest of this so-called statement? Instead of the clock starting when the options are read out, David will read the 4 options first and then ask the contestant if they are ready to start the clock. The clock will then continue counting down in the usual way. We believe this will create a fairer game for contestants and will also blah blah blah. Absolutely ridiculous if you ask me, but that is the way it's going to go for now. Anyway, Fergus, you are 11 questions away from 1 million gems. Lifelines are your 5,050, call a mate and survey the crowd. These are the categories you will be facing this morning. Have a look, hopefully you revised some of these. The time limits have remained the same, although as a reminder, the clock will start on your say-so after the options have been read to you, which I'm still not sure about.
I'm sure it'll be fine, David.
I'll be the judge of that. Anyway, let's get this over with and begin the game. Are you ready?
Yes. In fact, I'm quite excited.
Well, if you can just try and calm down for me then. Let's start the game. Here comes question 1 for 100 gems. We're putting a maximum of 5 seconds on the clock, and here is the question. A 4-leafed what is considered good luck? Options are clover, orange, knife, or there was an Englishman, a Scotsman and an Irishman, and they were set to go down a magic slide where whatever they said they landed in. The Englishman shouted money and landed in a pile of money. The Scotsman shouted whiskey and landed in a pile of whiskey, and the Irishman was having such a fun time that as he was going down the slide he shouted wee. Shall I begin the clock?
Yes, David.
Start the clock.
I'll go with clover for 100.
I can confirm that it is clover for 100.
Good thing the clock doesn't start when you're reading the options anymore. No way I'd have had time there.
You'd have had plenty of time, thank you.
That took about a minute for you to read the question out.
No, that's not the case, and I would like to ask you to stop being disrespectful, please.
Sorry, David, but...
There's no buts, thank you, and if you continue with this behaviour, I'll be forced to issue you with a verbal warning.
Alright.
Here comes question 2, and you're up to 15 seconds now. What type of creature is a doja cat? Options are cat, fish, lizard, or human. Shall I start the clock?
Yes, you can.
Let's start the clock.
Not one of ours. I believe she's a human, so I'll say D for 500.
And it is D for 500. Okay, here comes the last point in which you can go home with nothing. Here comes the question. What is the exact number of millilitres in a litre? Options are 568, 876, 1000 or 1342. Shall I start the clock?
Millilitres in a litre. I think I know. You can start the clock, David.
Start the clock.
I know 568 millilitres is a pint. I believe that it is 1,000. So I'll say 1,000 for 1,000.
You've said 1,000 for 1,000, and I can reveal it is 1,000 for a guaranteed 1,000 gems.
Oh yes, come on there.
Okay, well played so far. As a reward for answering the first 3 questions correctly, you have earned an extra lifeline. Now, Skype have given us some grief for using their platform to hack into people's computers for our FaceTime a Stranger lifeline. They've said they don't approve of us using their software for nefarious means. So we've had to get rid of it and replace it with a new lifeline I like to call Ask the Experts.
Okay, interesting. Who is the expert?
I can reveal that your expert is a former contestant who went on to win 251,000 gems from the original programme. 251? Yes. Your expert is me. Oh, try not to sound too disappointed.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can just read the answer off your screen, I suppose.
I could, but if I think the answer is, say, the first option, and my screen tells me it is the 4th option, I will be telling you to go with the first option.
Alright, so not a very useful lifeline then.
Right, I'm sorry Fergus, but I don't approve of that comment. I have no choice but to issue you with a yellow card.
Sorry, David.
Anyway, let's get back on track. The next question is for 2,000 gems. The category is story time. We're putting 30 seconds on the clock now, as the question difficulty has now increased. Which of these buildings has the most stories? Options are Empire State Building, Burj Khalifa, Shanghai Tower, or local library. Shall I start the clock?
Start the clock, please, David.
Start the clock.
I think the Burj Khalifa is the tallest option, but the question says stories, spelled S-T-O-R-I-E-S, and the Burj Khalifa, being the tallest, has the most stories, spelled S-T-O-R-E-Y-S. Therefore, I'm going to say the local library for 2,000. Okay. Well, the Burj Khalifa is the tallest, but your reasoning was correct for 2,000 gems.
Right then, we're getting up the tree. Up for 5,000 gems next. Hey, are you ready to see the next question?
Bring it on.
Which former star of the Tweenies was recently sentenced to 15 years imprisonment for armed robbery and drug possession? Options are Bella, Milo, Fizz or Jake. Can I start the clock?
You can, David.
Let's start the clock.
I don't think it was one of the girls, but I can't quite remember, so I think I'll have to use my 50-50, please, David.
Okay, computer, please get rid of the 2 supposedly random wrong answers, leaving us with the right answer and the 1 remaining wrong answer.
Drat. I think I'll phone a friend, please.
Okay, stop the clock. Not good using a second lifeline there. Let's take a look at your pre-approved friends list. Who would you like to ring?
Let me think. I think it'll have to be Ollie, please.
Okay, let's see if we can get connected. Hello. Hello, is that Oliver?
It's Ollie.
Right, But I imagine Oliver is your full name, yes?
Yes, but I'd rather be...
Right then, Oliver, it's David Stryker calling from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire versus the Clock. I've got your friend Fergus in the seat. Fergus, do you want me to tell Oliver you're playing for 5,000 gems? If you like. He's playing for 5,000 gems, but needs your help on this question. A wrong answer would cost him 1,000 gems, so no pressure.
Alright.
Okay, Oliver. Can I just check that there is someone from our team with you, making sure you don't look up the answer?
Yes, he's pointing a gun at me.
Right, well better not Google the answer then. Anyway, as soon as Fergus tells me to start the clock, I'll pass you over to him and I'll give you 30 seconds. Ready, Fergus?
Yes, you can start the clock.
Start the phone a friend clock.
Ollie, which tweenie was sentenced to 15 years for armed robbery and drug possession? Was it Milo or Jake?
What are the other options?
It's just those two. I took a 50-50.
It's definitely not Milo. He was framed for it. Although I was under the assumption it was Bella.
Sure it wasn't Milo though?
Yes, I'm sure it wasn't Milo.
Okay. Cheers, mate.
Right, so Oliver thinks it is Milo.
No. He said it definitely wasn't Milo.
If you say so. Anyway, you've got 7 seconds left on the clock. Are you ready for me to resume it?
Yes.
Resume the question clock. I'll go and say Jake for 5,000. Okay, you've gone for it. Yes, I was thinking it was Milo, but I'll believe him. Also, I'm fairly sure the last question was option D as well. Yeah, don't read into that. Anyway, it was D again, this time for 5,000. Yes, come on. Anyway, to avoid confusion, Milo was framed for the robbery initially, but sometime later, Jake confided in Bella that he was behind it all. Bella then went and told the police everything.
She was always a bit of a telltale, that Bella.
Milo has got in a bit of trouble as well for knife crime, but never anything more than a year behind bars. Right, and as you know, Fizz died from a heroin overdose.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you've made it up to 5,000 gems, but it has cost you half of your assets. Still, you have the opportunity to double your capital with the next question. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please.
Which of these is Tom Hanks's current Twitter password? Options are use the force with a 4 instead of a FO, 1 Forest 1, you talking to me, 2 as being a number, not the word to, or 0 me, 0 my. I believe the zeros replacing O's. Are you ready for me to start the clock?
Yes.
Start the clock.
Right, so use the force is Star Wars, and you talking to me was Taxi Driver.
Run Forrest Run was Forrest Gump, and I believe Tom Hanks played him, so yes, I think I'll go with that one, please. B? Yes, B for 10,000. Okay. Well, young man, I have to say congratulations, you've just won 10,000 gems. You talking to me is Robert De Niro's password, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Right, so eventually we got to 10,000, but the next one is for 25,000. You can still ask the audience, and you can still ask the expert. Your category is Don't Bug a Vegan. Here is the question. Which insect did vegan activist Nora Tree get caught eating, resulting in a 2-year ban from her activism? Options are grasshopper, B, cricket, or earwig. This is the last time the clock will be at 30 seconds. Are you ready for me to start it? Well, Fergus.
Nora Tree.
Fergus.
Yes. Start the clock, please, David.
Start the clock.
I've heard about this. I just can't remember what insect it was.
The clock is ticking. You do still have lifelines.
I'd like to ask the audience, please.
Okay, stop the clock. Audience on your keypads. Which insect did vegan activist Nora Tree get caught eating, resulting in a 2-year ban from her activism? A on your keypads is grasshopper. B is bee, that being the stinging insect that produces honey, not the letter used to symbolise the second answer choice. C is cricket, again the insect, not the sport. And D is earwig. On your keypads, A, B, C or D, please vote now. Thank you, audience. What is going on?
I think it might be because 69% said B.
Right, thank you, audience. I think 1 or 2 members of this audience need to grow up, please, thank you. I'd also like to say that if any member of this audience is going to be disruptive or silly, they will be removed from the studio. This is a serious programme. Anyway, Fergus, quite a strong majority has gone with B there. Your choice. Let me know when you're ready for me to restart the clock.
You can.
Restart the clock.
I think B is also the most egregious of the 4 options, hence why such a lengthy ban. People like Bs. Anyway, I'll say B for 25,000 gems.
Well then, I would like to congratulate you on winning a 40th of a million gems.
Yes! Come on! And that's guaranteed, isn't it?
That is guaranteed, yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, a 2-year ban. The worst part about it though is she was also dipping the bees in honey. And as you know, vegans are not permitted to consume food produced by animals either.
Well, David, I think it would be fair to say that she'd be in a lot of trouble.
She was in a lot of trouble, yes. If we can make sure we use the correct participles, please. Anyway, you've got a free shot here. This is where we start to level up to more serious money. You still have 1 lifeline left where you can ask the expert. Soy el campeón is the category. Okay. Up to 45 seconds on the clock now as questions get even tougher. Ready? Yes. Here it is. In which of these competitive sports was Jose Gazpacho crowned an ultimate world champion? The options are Uno, What, Snap or Top Trumps. Shall I start the clock?
Hang on. I think Uno would be the easiest one, as a lot of people can forget to say it when they're down to 1 card, and it's quite a popular game too.
Yes, well, shall we start the clock?
Just a sec. What is very similar rules, but it's a bit of a rip-off game, so probably not as recognised, so I can't imagine it having a World Championship, let alone an Ultimate World Championship.
Yes, well, I should be starting the clock now though, yes?
Sorry, David. It's just that it's for quite a bit of money, so I'd like to just have a think if that's okay. I think Snap's a bit too young to have...
No, that's not okay. You are meant to be playing against the clock. It won't let me start it without your say-so, so can you please let me begin the clock?
I will in a second, David. Just want to mull it over. In Top Trumps, you've got so many different categories that
I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. I've just pressed a button on my computer screen asking for a producer to come down and have a word with you.
Why have you done that?
Because I'm not thrilled with your behaviour. The clock should have started by now.
Fine. I think I've got an idea of what the answer is anyway. You can start the clock.
I will. But considering the amount of time you've taken, I think it's only fair that I cut you down to 20 seconds.
You can't do that.
Start the clock.
What have you done that for?
You were taking too much time, and I'm sorry, but actions have consequences.
Fine. Well, anyway, I think I'll go for...
And next time, hopefully, you'll think about...
Well, let me answer the question then.
I'm speaking now, thank you. You will wait until I've finished, thank you. Hopefully, you start to realise it's not just my time you're wasting.
You've literally wasted all my time.
Excuse me?
You cut me down to 20 seconds and wasted that time telling me off.
You need to watch your tone, mister.
No, I'm sorry, David. I'd like to make a complaint, please. When is that producer getting here?
A complaint? Excuse me, your behaviour today has been absolutely appalling, and you want to complain about me?
How have I been appalling? You've been in a foul mood all day, and you're taking it out on me.
A foul mood? It's not my fault that I have to put up.
What's going on here? David, why are you arguing with the contestants?
Right, so I've read the options out. I've said to Fergus, can we start the clock? And what Fergus is doing is not letting me start the clock and using additional time that he is not allowed to have to think through the options. Now that for me is taking the absolute Michael, and why these changes you're so keen on are completely stupid.
He caught me time down, sir.
Yes, because you were taking too long, and 20 seconds I think is still very generous.
Then he spent those 20 seconds not letting me answer and lecturing me about my actions having consequences.
Right, I am getting seriously fed up with your attitude. You need to be quiet, and you need to...
David, I think you're going to need to calm down. Can you go to my office, please?
What? But Tom, I'm in the middle of... who's going to cover the programme?
Have we got any cover hosts on standby?
Harry Fergus is downstairs doing Wheel of Small Fortune.
No, I'm not having him again. We'll just have to finish the programme here then. What about me? Do I get another go?
No, you were beaten by the clock, fair and square.
It wasn't fair or square. You wouldn't let me answer the question.
David, my office please, now. Didn't even do anything wrong, stupid.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Anyway, please can I have a chance to answer the question? Well, we'll review the footage, but considering the clock went down to 0, I'm not sure there's much I can do, I'm afraid. I was going to say Uno. Was it Uno? It was Uno, yes, but the timer went to 0, so your game does have to end there, I'm afraid. But you do still get to go home with 25,000 gems. But... If you can exit stage left, please. Thank you, Fergus. Right, well I'll be having some words with David, and we'll call it a day with the episode now. I'm told this episode is also being uploaded to the YouTube. I believe there is a comment section where you can input ideas and give us your feedback. Are you happy with the changes we've made? Or is David correct in his assertion that the clock should start when the options appear? We value your opinions and thank you, as always, for watching.